Bun găsit, sunt Adrian Boioglu. La BizPLUS.ro discutăm cu oamenii care fac ceva pentru a promova mediul de afaceri și mai mult decât atât ajută antreprenorii. De această dată avem însă o invitată care reușește prin munca sa să facă un lucru impresionant, să promoveze un oraș, este vorba despre Belgrad, și mai mult decât atât să facă acest lucru în așa fel încât oamenii care vin aici, fie că este vorba de turiști sau de oameni de afaceri, să se bucure de tot ceea ce are de oferit acest oraș. Invitata mea de astăzi este Jelena Stankovic, care este PR-ul Organizației de Promovare Turistică a orașului Belgrade. Jelena, thank you so much for being here at BizPLUS TV. And my first question would be obviously about how your work influences the way business people and the tourists that are coming here to Belgrade decide to choose this city as their next destination. So when you promote the city, when you're talking about your city, when you're going to a travel fair in Romania, for example, or other countries, what do you think Belgrade has to offer to those that are coming here to have maybe a conference or team building for their company, like the top management, the things that are going to be a plus when it comes to choosing their next destination?
First of all, thank you for inviting me. It's my pleasure to have this conversation. Apparently, MICE in Belgrade is rising. We are attending business fairs worldwide for years now, and especially having in mind the Sava Center reconstruction, which is the largest business center in this part of Europe. Dates back from the old times of the old country. It took time to be renovated, which is currently at the process, and when it's finished, it's going to be officially the largest and the most important business center, not only in Serbia but in whole this region. Numbers in MICE are growing. The number of business events in our country is also growing very much, which means that we should put focus on that part of tourism. According to the information that we have, more and more business travelers are coming back to the city. Besides of the fact that there is something which is now popular these days, mixing business visit with a leisure visit. Basically, it means that if someone comes, for instance, for a conference which lasts 3 days, it usually the person stays 1 or 2 days more, which gives an opportunity to get introduced to a destination. And after that, according to experiences so far, they usually recommend the destination and come back maybe with friends or families again to experience more, not only from one destination, in this case Belgrade, but maybe to explore the rest of the country, which is something that we all should think about when we host business travelers, having in mind that the biggest part of hotels in Belgrade are business hotels. Obviously, investors are deciding to put more focus on that kind of travelers, which actually shows that we have a very bright future when it comes to MICE.
I know that Air Serbia, your national air company, airline company, was, let's say, founded again or restructured about 9 years ago, and they are doing a great job. You know, with all the airlines that are, giving people headaches with delays and so on, your company is it's a very good one because it has flights that are not late, and they have. The way they work, it's perfect for business travelers that want to get somewhere in time. So that's very important. So how do you work with them and other travel companies to bring those tourists to you here in Belgrade?
Our national carrier, Air Serbia, has a long tradition. And we are happy that their business is also growing. For instance, this year they have been flying from and to 60 destinations, direct flights to and from 60 destinations worldwide. And also in the peak season, in the summer season, they were flying to 101. Which is also something that we are think it's very important for one destination. It provides availability, which is the number one condition for tourism of one country. I would like to point out to your audience that Air Serbia flies 5 times a week from Bucharest to Belgrade. This is maybe an opportunity which should be used.
Absolutely, and not to mention that the planes are comfortable with seats, with all the extra services and so on. So that's even better. One more question would be the way you're thinking about organizing a conference here. What has Belgrade to offer when it comes to conference spaces, accommodation, maybe event halls and so on? What can you tell us about that?
In this moment, Belgrade has 123 hotels, of which 5 hotels of 5 stars, with the potential of growth of that number. The most of those hotels have capacities for business meetings. Also, I was mentioning Sava Center, which will be the biggest congress center in the region. But there are many congress and business centers apart from those hotels. Belgrade is putting a lot of efforts towards building a right infrastructure for the MICE development, and this is very important for the whole country.
Absolutely. And talking about infrastructure, your roads are actually much better than I imagined. I mean, some of the roads in Romania or in Bulgaria, they're not as good, just to say the least, you know. So when it comes to highways and transportation, what can you tell us about that? I know you're working to developing that system of highways, and that's a very good thing because the funding is mostly local, and you had the power and the vision to extend that and have it at a level that anyone can be proud of.
Infrastructure development is an ongoing process, and if I may say, it's a never-ending process, and our government is putting a lot of effort into developing a right infrastructure, because we are at the crossroads of the east and west, crossroads of in every possible way. It's a very important precondition to have very good highways, very good roads, which can connect not only cities but different resorts and spas and also natural sites and mountains, and actually to provide connectivity from and to every point of the country, which also contributes to the quality of life of the local citizens, but also to travelers.
One of the most important things, especially during the COVID pandemic, was working from home, and that turned into work from anywhere or work remotely. How do you feel about the things, how the things changed during the pandemic and after the pandemic for Belgrade? Do you feel like it's been a positive, an increase in the number of people that are working from here, for example, instead of working from another location? And is that something that you can, count on in the future?
Companies in Belgrade mostly came back to the old regime. The change is that the citizens of Belgrade discovered different places to spend their time away or apart from work. But also in that regards, I would like to point out that the expat community of international people and residents in Belgrade have increased. So in the time of pandemic, lots of people from the Western Europe, for instance, chose Belgrade as a place to live and work remotely because of the value for money which Belgrade gives, the costs of life, costs of work, comparing to the other European capitals. So the expat community in the last 3 years has grown very much.
Absolutely. I was visiting Belgrade for a few days, and I couldn't help but notice that there is a lot of signage and a lot of billboards promoting the stuff that you're hiring, not you as a company, not you as an organization, but there is a lot of hires for the people that want to work as developers, as software developers. And that's a very good thing. How do you feel that the city, the municipality is helping those who want to work as developers and work for bigger salaries for companies in US or Western Europe? And is that a good thing to promote? Do you feel that like it's helping you?
IT sector in Serbia is very strong. For years now, it's been recognized as a very strong sector which provides lots of opportunities for local programmers and developers, but also for international IT workers who can start their businesses here. Government took part in that development process, and we have an official office which deals with everything that is going on with in the IT sector. Startups are something that our government supports, so there are lots of programs that people can apply for in order to make the IT sector in Serbia even stronger.
Now, let's leave work aside and talk about the way you can relax after a hard day's work. And talking about that, let's say you come here for like 3 days for a conference. What can you do in the next 3 days to enjoy Belgrade and visit the surroundings?
One should, in the first place, discover the life of the city in the central area, to get to know the cultural life, to visit few museums, and then to relax, maybe to Ada Ciganlija resort, or maybe some of the parks for active holiday, to enjoy the social life, daylight, and recognizable nightlife that has become famous in this part of Europe. There is a lot of events that international travelers can also attend. They're not only local focused, but also gives a really good insight of our culture, general culture. There are lots of beautiful resorts that people can enjoy. Also, those who are interested in sports and different activities. There are many things in the city and outside the city which are available.
Talking about of the things in the city and outside the city, one of the best points of Belgrade and the surroundings is the foods and the wines. And that's one of the points that I'm going to mention to everyone, because the food in here is amazing. So that's one thing you can offer. Of course, the food in the Balkans and then in Romania and Bulgaria and so on, all the other countries around here is very good. But the combinations that you offer are amazing. And the wines and the rakia and everything else it's even better, makes it even better as an experience. And adding to that the joy of the people, the dancing, the singing, and all of that you can see throughout the restaurants in Skadalia Street or other places like that, makes it even better. So how would you say they should enjoy that? You know, what would you recommend to someone that hasn't maybe experienced something like that yet?
Food in Serbia speaks for itself. One has to try it. Once he tries it, he will always want to come back for more. It's a very intense and interesting variety of different tastes, different influences over time, which at the end resulted in this amazing gastronomy offer which we have. But when it comes to food, it's never about the food only, because It's a tradition of enjoying food in Serbia. It also involves probably traditional music, involves socializing, because we're always outside with friends or families at lunch or dinner. That is a part of our everyday culture, and we cherish it a lot. And if I may notice, that is something that is a part of our joy of life. That is, we have also many food festivals. We have different ways to really cherish what we have. Also, I would mention our open air markets, which are spread across the city, even in the center of the city, which only shows how much we appreciate what we have. Some tourists complain about the size of the dishes that we serve. But if I may say, tourists always come back for more.
I know you can get some weights if you come here. Talking about what an active and intelligent people would like to do, I know for sure that I want to go to the Tesla Museum. I want to go to see the rich spirituality, the churches, and all the museums, the Royal Palace here in Belgrade. What would you recommend when it comes to that?
Besides the Museum of Nikola Tesla or the National Museum of Contemporary Arts, there are a total of 52 museums that people can discover in Belgrade. I'm very happy that, for instance, the Museum of Nikola Tesla will get very soon much larger space, which it deserves. There is a Royal Court, which you mentioned. It's an amazing compound which consists of several buildings and an amazing surrounding area, which any visitor can visit, and also, if lucky, to meet the royal family as well. There is an outstanding temple of Saint Sava, which is the third largest Orthodox temple in Europe, and it's breathtaking because it's still not finished. It takes a lot of time and effort for such a grandiose temple to be done. Also, I would mention the Belgrade Fortress, one of the largest fortifications in Europe, and an open-air museum. There is Ada Ciganlija summer resort, but not only summer, it's all year long resort. I'm mentioning summer because it has 7 kilometers long beaches in the center of the city. So there is a whole variety of things that someone can do in Belgrade.
We're getting closer to the end, and I want to ask you, business people have one thing in common. They want to create something, they want to make it last, and then move on. So when it comes to Belgrade, what would be the opportunities for investment in here? What would be your recommendation for someone to maybe come and build a hotel, maybe somebody that wants to come here and start a cruise company or something like that over the Danube? What Belgrade needs from foreign investors that want to come here and bring their capacities and money to invest it in a city and make their every penny count for the development of the city and the area as a tourist area in general?
There is always space for more. When it comes to hotels, we can always use more accommodation facilities, more hotels, especially those of a higher luxury hotels, a higher standard 4 or 5 hotels. So there is definitely space for investments in that area because, for instance, in some periods of the year, all accommodation facilities in Belgrade can become totally full. Also, companies in the tourism sector can also do good business here, and we are always here to welcome those who want to support the economy of our city and our country overall.
Thank you so much. In the end, just extend your message to our viewers and invite them to discover Belgrade.
We would be very happy that you come and discover the city of Belgrade. If you haven't do it yet. We will welcome you with open arms, and you can freely enjoy everything that we, like locals, love to enjoy. That is the first thing that someone really enjoys in our city. There is a lot of things to be discovered, so welcome.
Thank you so much. Doamnelor și domnilor, aceasta a fost emisiunea de la BizPLUS TV. Eu sunt Adrian Boioglu. Până data viitoare, alături de colegul meu Mitică Raftu, vă doresc o zi mai bună.